Oh, Mr. Bennett.
You're home.
I'm home. It was
You have
wonderful.
fun? Good.
Yes,
Vacation should be wonderful.
yes, definitely. All right, so Rick and Sue are here. And then Hank is here.
Okay, is the ambulance meeting is first?
Yes.
Okay. Boy, you must have been out in the sun a lot.
Oh, it was amazing. We were out in the sun a lot, but we were very careful about it too, because when you go from New Hampshire to a sunny region, you can pay your price.
Right.
Yeah, it was incredible though. We had a wonderful, relaxing time. It's always nice to pull back into your own driveway, you know?
Absolutely. I think that's the other part of a vacation. Makes you
Yeah.
appreciate
Absolutely.
where you came from.
Yeah. Hi, Rick and Sue. How are you guys doing?
You? Had a good vacation, sounds like.
Yes, we went to Maui.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So okay, let's see who else is coming on here. Hi there. I see that someone popped on with a phone number ending in 9555.
Yes,
And who is that?
Chief Courier.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. This is
Good.
Barb talking. And then there's someone that hopped on with a number ending in 4090. Who would that be? Hello?
Guess you want to talk? Listen, music.
I pulled the check out.
Hi, John.
Hi, Barb. How are ya?
Very well.
Are you back?
I am back.
How was it?
Oh, it was incredibly wonderful. And many more adjectives too, and adverbs and all that. It was very, very fun, relaxing.
I'm glad.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so who is on with the phone number ending in 2950? And
You have this is Vicki Garland. You have the town of Bartlett on 2950.
okay, thank you. And then who is on with 9555? Is that the one I asked for before? Yeah,
955 is the Bartlett Fire Department.
got you.
Okay, that's why I know the number.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So, and then Rick and Sue are on, Emily Benson is on, John, Dick, and Barb are on from Jackson, and Hank Ganesh is on to listen in, and we'll post the meeting afterwards.
I'm keeping up now.
So I did not send, I think we can start the meeting. It's 3:31. I did not send an agenda, but I know we just wanted to cover mostly the budget and what is appropriated for each of the towns. And then if anyone else has any other subjects that they'd like to speak to, we can discuss those. So as far as the budget goes, I know that Jackson had appropriated the amount that was in the submitted budget from the Bartlett-Jackson ambulance, and that Bartlett had submitted a lesser amount that was closer to what the expenditures were for last year for operations. So does that sound right from the Bartlett side? And does anyone have any
No,
questions?
we put in this year what was appropriated last year, not what was spent.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. That was closer to 10,000. So what was appropriated last year? So, and did you already have your meeting and was it approved or is that still to
No,
come?
we haven't had town meeting yet.
Okay, yeah. I'm confused as to what towns have met already, but, okay, so you put in 20,610.
No, I think it was 21 even, was that? I don't have it in
21,000.
front of me. But wait, let's confirm that. Exactly the same. Okay, no, it was the same as last year, Barbara, sorry.
Okay, 20,610. And then Jackson had put in the 21,340. And our town meeting has not been held as well, so. And then as far as the defibrillator is concerned, I'm getting an echo on here, so I'm gonna mute a few people and then we can unmute if we need to.
Hi, can I just address that, the amount that Bartlett budgeted for us?
Sure. Go ahead, Sue.
First of all, as Bartlett knows, because I spoke at the meeting, we were quite distressed to know that our budget had not been approved or whatever at the amount that we had put in because no one notified us. There are a couple of concerns that I have that we're going to be short money. And Jean always says, well, we'll give you more money if you need it, but that's not the point. The point is that when we put our budget in, we did it at the 2019 budget because on 2020, we had extra money left over from, we had got more revenue in. So we had approximately, not sure exactly, $20,000, maybe more. However, that money was spent and the money that we received, the extra money we received from the state of New Hampshire and the federal government amounts to about $20,000 last year. We will not get that money. So I guess my first, as Bartlett knows, I think it's totally unfair to ask us to submit a budget and we work on it and we talk about it and we had a meeting with you folks and then nobody gets back to us and says, okay, we're going to just randomly cut this. That's the first complaint. So what we're proposing to do at the Bartlett Town Meeting is to request the citizens to raise that amount that the selectmen put in the budget to the actual amount that we requested.
Okay. Okay, you're unmuted now.
Yeah, we are unmuted. I'm not sure there was a question there, though. Sue told us clearly what she intends to do, and I think you were pretty clear about that, Sue, at the budget hearing also, so. I'm not sure if there was you were asking a specific question of us.
No, well, actually, I guess the specific question was, what is Jackson going to do?
Well, Jackson has put into their budget the 21,340, which was the amount that was on your proposed budget.
And nobody intends to challenge that. I mean, other than citizenry, the selectmen are backing that.
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess I want to go back to where the formality of approving the budget is concerned too. We haven't, in the past, from what I understand, we haven't formally accepted your budget in a meeting setting. And maybe that's something that definitely should be done. Not maybe, definitely. That's ridiculous to say. We definitely should have that process done in future meetings, and that discussion can be made. And the selectmen would then advise you guys what we intend to put in the town budget prior to you hearing it at town meeting. I think that's a professional communication
I agree.
rather than you having to find it out. So that, I think that's a good recommendation that I will add into the notes. So next year when the budget is submitted, then we can ask questions, put our intentions out as far as what numbers we intend to include in our budget.
Thank you. I guess just one other thing. If they did intend to cut it or they chose to cut it, I guess I don't understand why we weren't notified, but enough of that. That will be rectified if we can at least get it approved and notified of whatever anybody decides. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And then the defibrillator amount, there was a question about the amount that's on there and the total compared to what the total cost of the defibrillator is. So the 19,155 times 2 is 38,310, and the total amount that's on the budget is 38,450. Rick and I spoke a little earlier about the fact that the defibrillator will likely come in at a higher amount than that because of price changes, et cetera. But the max amount that he's asking for from the two towns is the 19,155. So I know Jackson does have a reserve fund for a capital reserve fund for the Jackson ambulance, and I just need to check with Julie and make sure that that's allocated to what the selectmen want to spend it on versus being specifically allocated to a new truck, et cetera.
Okay, we should be able to, with no problem, absorb the extra, the extra money, whether we take it out of our operating funds and hopefully, or whether we take it out of donations. So
Right.
if we leave it at it, what it is. But it's my understanding that capital reserve fund, it has to be voted to, it has to be on the warrant to take that out of the budget. I mean, take it out of.
Right, and that's what I'm gonna confirm with Julie Atwell.
Okay.
And then Bartlett, do you guys have anything to comment on that as far as the budget for the defibrillator from your team?
No, no.
Okay. Any questions on that, Rick and Sue?
No, that's good. Thank you.
I have one quick question.
Go ahead, John.
I was noticing on our town report here that the total payroll of 153 doesn't match the actual expenditures in 2020 of 164. I don't know if there was an explanation for why it was off by about $11,000.
I'll take care of that because we talked about it at one of the meetings, or I just asked Rick and Sue about it. I can't remember, but the gross payroll on the budget includes the payroll tax portion as well. That the Bartlett Jackson Ambulance is responsible for paying. So like company portion, Social Security and Medicare, et cetera.
Very good.
Okay.
In the payroll, I have a question of just curiosity. The payroll budget was 120,000 last year, and you spent 164. I'm assuming that's something to do with the 20,000 state and federal grants, maybe?
Yes, it has to do with that. The government gave us money, I think almost 5,000, and the state gave us money if people were willing to go on calls when patients had COVID. They had to sign up
Right.
and sign an agreement that they would do that. And then they were allotted $300 a week for the 1 month or 8-week period. I can't remember.
And
I
that,
can't
the
remember.
total of those is about $20,000, but your line item is $44,000 high for
For this
payroll.
year or for
And
last
then
year?
this year, pardon?
She said this year or last.
Last year, the budget was 120,000. That's what you put in for a budget.
Mm-hmm.
You spent 165 roughly.
Right.
And that included that extra, which we assume probably won't be there this year.
Correct.
But even so, and then you're asking for 160 in payroll this year.
Well, one of the things that we've continued, even though the state has not given us, they're not providing us the $300 a week extra for the people. We have upped our, the rate that we pay people that they go on a call from $50 to $70. Just because it's the fair thing to do. You know, it's a hazard. Every call could be a COVID call, every call. So that's the reason for that increase.
And the other portion of that is we're having so many police standbys now, either due to psychiatric emergencies or chases or whatever, dangerous situations, that we really don't get paid for. We get $11 for those bad boys. Some of those take just as long as picking up somebody with a heart attack, getting them to the hospital. We have to wait for them to either clear a scene or for us to document that a patient is safe enough to transport to a prison.
And the other part of it too is that just because of COVID and because of other safety issues, people are taking classes online. And because of that, we're paying them by the hour when they have to take a class.
Would it be more diligent to pay for the class once they've taken it and become certified, or is it cheaper to pay them their hourly rate? For
They're already certified.
They're all
when they go in.
certified. This is for, they're for safety issues like just our insurance provides us the training free, but the people themselves, the students themselves or workers themselves have to go online and take their time to do it. And because we feel it's a bonus to us as well as the community, that we feel it's fair to pay them for that training. This is an additional above and beyond being an EMT or a paramedic.
So I do see where Jean has a point as far as the increase in the salary or the payroll line that goes from, 118 in 1 year to 165 in the next year. And obviously that can be justified somewhat by the increases and the increased calls. So I guess, we're taking your word for what the dollar amount is for the proposed budget. It'll be interesting to see where it comes in based on how COVID rolls out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, the other portion, Barb, and select people, was that we were doing a lot of COVID testing, and since other agencies that had the same ability that I did wouldn't do the fire guys, I was pretty much at their beck and call to come down and do them individually whenever they needed it, report that to CLIA and to the state as a laboratory. So significant amount of time spent testing fire, police, and EMS personnel for COVID that was above and beyond any of that.
Okay.
And that also includes the weekly, the daily phone Zoom calls to the state regarding
Okay.
COVID and all that other stuff.
Gotcha.
I didn't get paid. What did you? Oh, I guess we should put in for our Becky then.
Well, the thing is, gee, I gotta leave my real job to go do any of this, so let's keep thinking about that, please.
So, and realistically, that number should go down as the COVID subsides, I would think too. I mean, as the year progresses.
No, we,
I'll be happy to do that. You tell me to do that?
I don't know, we're talking about budget versus actual, if we're budgeting.
Well, we're talking about why the budget's where it is, and I'm more than willing to stop doing all the teleconferences because it was 5 a day for a while. I'm sorry, 5 a week for a while.
Yeah.
And we weaned that down to 3. Hopefully it's gonna be less than that pretty quickly, but God only knows.
Okay. Are there any other questions or issues on the budget that anyone wants to raise or discuss?
Well, I have a question on collections.
Yes,
And how's it going?
we're doing pretty well. The past, the 2 years back, still an issue. They haven't come in, and very few have come in, but I'm actually been quite amazed that we've been getting a lot of private pay. If the insurance doesn't pay, people have been paying us, which is fantastic. So we're doing quite well.
Okay, on the accounts that are not paying, are you doing second and third billings?
Yes. Mhm.
That's why we spent so much in stamps, Dick.
I'm sorry?
That's why we spent so much money in stamps.
That's where that $600 went.
Right. You see,
That's right.
each roll is 100 stamps. And if I've got 300 bills to send out, it doesn't take long to go through that 6 rolls of stamps.
Do you track what your rate is on collections when you send second and third notices?
I really don't. I mean, I track that I've sent them,
Yeah,
but I don't have any, our billing system is not that sophisticated. I mean, it's really pretty simple. It's a $300 a year billing system, so.
no, I just wonder what the success rate is versus the time spent and the, if there are better ways to do it, but maybe we can talk about that in the coming year to see if there are better methods to try to collect on those second and third.
Yeah, I try to get them out, within, sometimes you're damned if you do. If you send them out soon, then they haven't met the deductible. If you wait a couple of weeks and they get their hospital bill and that goes through, then they've met the deductible. So it's kind of one of those,
Mhm.
you don't know exactly which way to go with it, but I usually get them out within a week and a half to 2 weeks.
Well, I think that legally it's on a 30, 60, 90-day cycle
Mhm.
that you're supposed to
To
be
be paid.
posting those.
Mhm. Well, and some of them are
Insurance
waiting.
companies can take almost a year sometimes before they get back to you and offer a negotiated settlement. Typically, and I've turned a few down recently within the last week because I'll answer a phone when I'm here. And a lot of them are, they'll try to start out for the somewhere between a 60 and a 50% discount. If you decline that, and my latest tactic is I usually tell them that our rates are considerably lower than most of our contemporaries in the state of New Hampshire. And we really can't go any lower than that. And oftentimes they'll say yes and they'll put it back to United or Blue Cross or Kaiser Permanente or Tufts Health or Harvard or whoever it may be. And if you have kids insurance, like many people have had the Medicaid for kids, it doesn't cover ambulances or emergency rooms. Most people don't understand that because they've never read the fine print. So you think your kids are covered and they get, an ambulance ride from either the school to the ski area to a hospital. The ambulance part's not covered, nor is the emergency department. So the only thing they really cover for the healthy kids part is the preventative medicine if you go to your own doctor. So people get broadsided by that, and most of them can't afford to pay that.
And we can't bill them.
Right.
If Medicaid
Medicaid doesn't
denies it, we cannot bill them.
And that's true across the New England states.
Mhm.
So if anybody there is clever enough to figure out what the CEO of Blue Cross does, you too can make an $84 million a year bonus.
Oh, I know.
I'm
we had
in.
a question about the Primex insurance. Is that what Jackson has as well?
Yes.
Do you know if there's any way that we can look into getting onto that, or, having our own separate policy under them? Because it looks like our insurance is gonna go up considerably this year.
This
You
is
know,
Vicki. I checked that.
Go ahead.
You guys have to contact Primex yourself as a separate 501c LLC.
Okay, but we can do
So
that?
yes, you can.
Okay.
You can contact them directly yourself as a separate entity.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I wasn't sure. Someone told me, or told us a couple of years ago that we weren't allowed to do that, but.
Yeah, Lynn Jones.
My understanding is you used to have, historically, you had Primex.
Yes, mhm.
I think it's just worth a phone call to find out what
did
their
too, but-
rates are and
Right.
what their procedure would be.
Yes, I do. I agree. Thank you.
Okay. John, were you going to say something before?
I don't think so, no.
Any other budgetary or financial questions? All right. Emily, I see that you're on the line. Did you have anything you specifically wanted to bring up?
No, I did not. I just saw that this meeting was happening and reached out to Rick and thought I'd sit in just to kind of be aware of what some of the discussions were. I am just kind of looking at some of the public assistance funding opportunities through FEMA.
Mhm.
I don't know, Rick, maybe we can talk a little bit more about that if that's something that would be worth pursuing for some of these
Mhm.
COVID-related costs, certainly with the testing and stuff like that. That was a topic of discussion at the noon call with the state today. So should we follow up on that?
Did they actually do that today? I stayed online for 20 minutes and never got hooked up.
Yeah, I changed over to a WebEx platform today that was a little confusing, but they kept sending out the reminders for the other numbers. So,
Okay.
but I'll send you the
Rick,
recording.
but to be aware that FEMA money is only for expenses after January 21st and through September of 2021. So if you're continuing to do testing, that was listed as reimbursable. But if this was testing done prior to January 21st of 2021, it's not reimbursable through FEMA.
Just expired.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point, Vicky, I was going to bring up with Rick, you know, how much testing was happening with the firefighters after, because it went into January or January, February.
Yeah, it went until pretty much everybody had their second shot, which is not.
That's what I thought.
You know, we were still testing them after the first shot. And all the kits that we've got now are the same ones that Pearlie had. If, you know, if he was only doing his own department, he's got to have at least 3 whole kits left. I only have 1 and a piece left, so.
Okay.
But those were free. That didn't incur any cost.
Well, the only cost was, you know, I never put in for it either.
Not just time.
What I'm saying is it costs for me to have to drive down here to do a couple fire guys from
Right.
different departments, but, you know, you got to take care of each other. We're not complaining about that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were other options that didn't want to exercise it, but they wanted to be in the paper today, so I don't know.
Well, it would be interesting to look back and see what expenses we can definitely attribute to COVID and to be sure that we've taken advantage of all grant money that is available still.
In addition, FEMA will cover again after January 21 through September, any supplies, cleaning supplies in excess of your regular cleaning costs, any handheld temperature devices, signage, floor decals, plexiglass. So if you guys did spend money on any of that, that is reimbursable by FEMA.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so it sounds like between Vicky and I, maybe Vicky, I'll CC you on an email that I send to Rick with some of those links to just be able to go through that and see what you might be able to put together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's it for me.
Thanks, Em.
Emily?
Yeah.
All right. Are there any other thoughts or issues for the Bartlett Jackson ambulance?
Not from our side.
Okay. I will send out the notice for the next meeting and minutes for this meeting. And then once the town meetings are done and the amounts, whatever the amounts end up being for the town budgets, maybe we can just talk about methodology and how the funding is done. I know we usually do it in 2 chunks each year and just making sure that that's the most logical way to fund. And I guess I'd like to be more aware of how budget to actual is looking through the year, since it is going to depend on how things roll out with COVID. So we can talk about that maybe at each of the quarterly meetings. So I'll put those on future agenda items. All right. Well, I think that's all I had. I'll get back to you guys on the defibrillator fund from Jackson. And we'll talk again soon. I appreciate everyone hopping on the call today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, and then everyone that's joining for the transfer station meeting can stay on.
The same link.
Do we know if Don was going to call into this Zoom number at a specific time?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know.
It was scheduled for 4, correct? Before,
I don't know if when they sent the link, if he was included on the link, and I didn't send him the link, and he sent the letter in, so I assumed he was told there was a meeting. But so I don't think he's gonna.
Still clicking.
Is there any way to reach out to Don to see if he's going to hop on? Does anyone have a phone number that they can call him on?
I don't think he has reception at his house.
Mary's giving him a call right now.
Okay.
He gave me that.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good idea.
It's not nearly as satisfying as this, though. I did find one that didn't make noise. I didn't enjoy that one.
No noise?
I thought I found one. It's a little quieter. That's a loud one.
Oh.
What do we have on the agenda for today's meeting? Is it mostly just Roger's contract?
I guess, I don't know. It was, I think Dick wanted to have a meeting, so.
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I think it's about the contract. I don't know if we should go to non-public
yeah.
where.
Well, yes, we should, if that's. Yes, we should.
Okay, so I am going to disconnect the folks that are not part of the Bartlett Selectmen or the Jackson Select Board. And Hank, I appreciate you being on the phone call as well. So thanks, everyone. We're going to go to non-public for the transfer station at this time.
You want a motion?
We should make a motion while we're still public. I'll make a motion to go into non-public.
Is there a second?
Okay. And we are good. So we have the 3 Jackson Select Board and Selectmen, and we have is Augie there too? Or is it just Vicky and Jean?
I am here.
Okay, just wanted to make sure for the notes here.
Had a motion to go into non-public. Do we have a second?
Oh, I'll make a motion to go into non-public.
I already
I'll
have one.
I'll second.
Need
Okay.
a second.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay.
Thank you.
All those in favor, Vicky,
Aye.
Gus,
Aye.
Jean, I, Dick,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
who's left?
Barbara.
Barbara.
Aye.
Okay, we're in non-public. Okay, so is everyone else off now?
Yes, everyone else is off, yes.
Okay. Okay, Dick, you got the floor.
Well,